Hey, what's up? It's Nathan here. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can get 2 bounce channels on your Lightning node by using the LightningNetwork.plus service here. So it's a great service, link in the description down below. It's free to use, but it allows you to open channels with individuals and then you rebounce amongst yourselves. So that way it's cheaper and faster and easier to go ahead and open channels and get equal inbound and outbound liquidity, so everything is bounced. So you can go ahead and browse the different swaps that they have available. Like we have 3 applications available, and we have different shapes as well. So there's a triangle shape, so that'll be a balance of 3 individuals working together. There's the pentagon shape, and then there's also a square shape as well. It's a lot easier to do a triangle rebalance, so that's the recommended setup, but if you want to go fancy, you can do that. I want to do a triangle one in this video, but I'll show you how you can do a pentagon or a square as well. But anyway, you can kind of browse around. We're just gonna get into it. I figure I can just show you and you can learn better that way. But real quick, there's a lot of great information under posts and FAQ. So I'd come here and there's a ton of great information, especially if you go to the last page. These were ones created by the Lightning Network Plus team. So you can learn a lot of information. If you're new to Lightning Network, there's a lot of great information on this website as well. So I want to point that out real quick before we hop into it. So I want to go ahead and just start a swap because the one's open for application. I'm not interested in joining. I want to join bigger ones. I want a 5 million sat channels opened up. So I'm going to start my own. So start a swap. And it's very simple to go ahead and do. So create new swap. So triangle. I'm going triangle, and the size that I want, 5 million Satoshi channel, and duration in months. So this is how long you should keep your channels open. Typically the longer the better. So anyway, I'm going to keep it the default as 12. You could also provide optional restrictions, like if you want a minimum number of channels or minimum node capacity or whatever else for people to apply to, you could go ahead and set that up. Now, this could keep a lot of people away from joining your swap. So, use this as needed. If you're just getting started, I probably would not do this because you're probably going to be limited and stuff anyway. So I would just take what you could get at this point. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and start the swap. And now I got to go ahead and wait for people to join my swap. So it might take 10 minutes. It might take 3 days. So as soon as it's full, I will come back to the video and finish it out. Alrighty, so it's only been a couple hours, and we see that I already have 2 people that want to participate in this swap, and 1 person has already opened their channel. So awesome. Now I'm going to go ahead and open my channel. So we see that they updated what to do next. So I need to go ahead and open a channel with Molon Labe here. So I'm just going to copy this information, and then we're going to open a channel just like we normally would. So back over here to Thunder Hub, and we'll go to Home, and I'm going to go to Open, and Open, and this is a new peer. I'm going to paste in that information. I'll come back over here real quick. I'll copy the SAT amount, 5 million. So we'll do that. Open the channel size, 5 million. I'm going to do an auto. I'm going to do fastest just to get things done. But, if I wasn't shooting a video, I probably would just do 1 and wait for it to open when it opens. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and it's public. I'm not going to push any tokens to my partner. And we go ahead and open the channel. And so that's going to hopefully process here. And there you go, channel open. So of course, if I come over to channels, I'll see it's pending right here. And I could go ahead and look at it in the mempool and see where we are. So we're hopefully in this first block here, which will hopefully be processed in about 3 minutes or so. So anyway, there we go. Let's come back over here. And I'm going to go ahead and do channel opening started. So channel opening started. And there we go. So now we just have to wait for Molon Labe Bitcoin to go ahead and open his channel to Colusa right here. And then we'll go ahead and do the rebalancing. So, yep, we're basically just waiting now for this person to open their channel. So we'll be back when they do. Alrighty, so supposedly everybody has opened up their channels, so hopefully we can move on to the next step and do the rebalancing. So we have optional rebalancing, so you don't have to rebalance unless you want to. I've had swaps where transactions started going through my node before any rebalancing even happened. So it just depends, really. At this point in time, we have 5 million incoming from Calusa, and then my 5 million outgoing to Molon Lab. So we have, even numbers, and ideally you want 2.5 million local and 2.5 million remote on both channels. So we want to rebalance in this particular case, and I went ahead and I volunteered to do the rebalancing. So it would normally say like volunteered to rebalance, while mine says undo rebalancing. So I'm volunteered to do it. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, you can leave a comment down below and be like, hey, I don't feel comfortable doing it. Please do it. Somebody else do it, or something like that. And hopefully somebody else knows how to do it. Now doing a triangle rebalancing is pretty easy because you can use Thunderhub or Ride the Lightning, and you can also use command line if you want to for the triangle. If you're doing a square or a pentagon, you do have to use command line. So we're going to go over command line in this video so you'll understand how to do it. But yeah, triangle, Thunderhub, and Ride the Lightning are available, and we're going to talk about them right now. So with Thunderhub, we can go to rebalance, select the channel you open as outgoing and the channel you received as incoming. So the channel I opened was Molon Lab, and incoming is Calusa. So we could come to Thunderhub, we could go to rebalance, and outgoing would be Molon, incoming would be Calusa, and then you do whatever you want, but I bump up my fees just to try and get things to go through. Ideally, both of these peers or nodes have lowered their fees to 0, so you're not going to be charged any fees. And we can see right here, it actually shows 0 right there. So there should be no fees at this point in time. And then I could go ahead and throw in 2.5 million sats, and then I could go ahead and hit rebalance right here, and hopefully it would go ahead and rebalance. Now, sometimes Thunderhub has issues, which in case I would use Ride the Lightning, okay? So we come over here, and it gives us instructions for Ride the Lightning as well. So we go to peers, channels, click on action on the channel you open, and select the node you receive from as channel peer. So pretty self-explanatory. So we'd go to Lightning, peers and channels, and I open with Molon Lab. So actions, circular rebalance. I throw in the 2.5 million sats. There we go. Receive from peer would be Calusa. Select fee, and then I could select my fee. And then I'd go ahead and hit rebalance, and it would go out there and hopefully rebalance without any issues. So I didn't do it with Thunderhub or Ride the Lightning, but that's how you would do it. I wanted to show you command lines because you can do command line with triangle, square, and pentagon, and also it can give you error messages if you have errors, whereas Thunderhub just says like error, and you're like, well, what the heck. Ride the Lightning does a little bit better on giving you the error, but it might not be super descriptive. Command line, if you understand how to do it on command line, well then you'll be fine, because if Thunderhub and Ride the Lightning don't work, you go on to command line. Alrighty, so I'm doing this command line bit on another day, and it's kind of early, so I'm not doing the whole camera situation, but let's go ahead and get into it. So here's our instructions to do it on command line, and I'm using an umbrella node, so I have to do it a little bit differently. I got some instructions here, and I'll include a link to them in the description down below, so if you have an umbrella node, yeah, we got to do it this way. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the command prompt. So I'm on Windows, and I'll just go down to the search and look for CMD or command prompt and pop that thing up. I believe on Mac it's called terminal, so if you're on a Mac, look for terminal. And then we gotta get into our umbrella, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. So SSH-T umbrella at umbrella.local, and then it asks for our password. Alright, so now we are inside of our umbrella node, and now the first thing we need to go ahead and do is create an invoice to get the payment address and our hash values. So we're going to copy that bit, and I'm going to be putting this into a text editor, and the one I'm using is Atom, and I'm going to be doing a find and replace using Atom, so that's why I'm using this tool. So you'll see what I mean in a few minutes here, but yeah, Atom's what I'm using, so link in the description below, and you'll see why I'm using it in a minute. But right now, I'll go ahead and paste that little snippet in there, and I'm going to go to our little instructions for using Umbrel, and we'll see that they add a little bit of extra stuff here: sudo docker exec lnd. So we're going to do that, and we're going to format our line to look like that. Okay, and again, this is just for Umbrels. You might be able to do it another way without adding that other stuff if you're not using Umbrel. So we're just going to paste that straight in there. And it asks for our Umbrel password again. So we'll go ahead and throw that in there. And here's that payment address and R hash that they were just talking about on the website. So let's come over here to our website. And here's our route. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that bit. And I'm going to throw this into Atom as well. And I'm going to turn on word wrap so I can more easily see things. Toggle soft wrap. Okay. Now, you want to make sure that it is soft wrap. You don't want to see like 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, you want it all on one line, but it's doing like you want it all on one line, but wrapped. Hopefully that makes some sense. Sorry, it is kind of early. Okay. Now I'll go back to my handy code or my handy instructions. So you'll notice that on for Umbrel, we kind of split it into two lines. We have the build route and we have the send to route. These are two separate commands when you're using Umbrel, whereas the website puts it all on one. Right? We have build route and then we have send route over here, and it's piped together. But since we're on Umbrel, we can't pipe it together. We got to do two separate submits basically. Okay, so there's that, and then it asks us to do payment address right here, and we got that when we created our invoice payment address. So we're just going to copy this right out of the console. Payment address. So there's that, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and copy this whole bit of code, or command I guess it is. I'm going to paste it in there and run that real quick. And I got an issue because I didn't put that little sudo docker thing in there. So let's go ahead and throw this sudo docker. There we go. Make sure we have the right spaces. Now we'll try that again, and hopefully it'll work this time. And there we go. So I have this JSON right here is what this is considered. And okay, so let me go to the little helpful article. Alright, so this is what we need to go ahead and use to do the send to route command since we're on the Umbrel. So I'm going to paste this in there. So we have to replace the R hash, which is what we got earlier on. R hash is right up here. We'll grab that and we'll plug that in there. And the JSON is that whole thing of code. So I'm going to create a new file in my Atom, and I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that the whole thing, starting right here, all the way down to the closing bracket. Copy that, and we'll paste it right in there. Alright, so now you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is not the soft wrap. So we're not going to be able to copy and paste this JSON code into our thing right here, our command, because it's on separate lines and it's just going to break things. So basically we need to get rid of all these separate lines and put it all on one line. And so this is where we're going to do that find and replace thing. So let's go ahead and do find, and it's find in buffer. And I'm going to go to this post here, and we got this little snippet of code which I'll include down below as well. So copy that, and then we'll come back over to Atom. So we want to find and buffer that snippet of code, and you want to make sure that you have this option right here, use regex right here. And so it found 55 instances of it, and I'm going to go with replace all. Okay, so now they got rid of all those lines, and we have one line of code here. And I'm going to go ahead and copy that whole thing, come back over here, and we're going to paste it right here. So we have this big old thing right here, and we're going to copy that, and we're going to paste it in here, and we're going to run it. And there we go. So let's come up here and see if things happen. Now we got a status succeeded here. So if I come back over to my Thunder Hub and I refresh it real quick, I should have some balanced channels here. So I have diamond hands 2.5, 2.5, and then I'm also with 12 U's for this, O2DC, so O2DC, and I've already sent some transactions through this one, so it didn't evenly balance like it did with diamond hands, so that's why it's not at 2.5 million. So anyway, that's how you can go ahead and create some equally balanced channels using Lightning Network Plus. Hopefully you found this video helpful. I appreciate any sorts of likes, comments, subscribes. Have a great rest of the day.